What is up, my fellow Twebbians? I am Logan, the Total Epic Gamer, and today we've got a fun build for you. This is going to be the rifle one-shot build. Now, disclaimer, is this build good? Maybe. Is this build fun? Absolutely. Will you die a lot with this build? Yes. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into what this build is all about. Going through the class tree, we're taking weapon damage, cooldown, because we don't really care for weapon leech, because guess what? It's just going to be one of those things that we have to accept. If we get hit too many times, we're just going to die. That's just the way it's going to be. Armor piercing, obvious. Crit damage, again, obvious. We're going for a lot of headshots with this rifle one-shot build. Every time toxic is afflicted, so is vulnerable. That is something that we're not going to be able to utilize too often, but hopefully we get some really good shots with it. Sniper Master, 20% sniper damage, obvious. Long range distance, 3 meters, obvious. We need it to shorten up the distance so we can do more damage. More weapon damage. Cannonade, because we actually won't be using bladed rounds in this build, and we'll be using shrapnel in its place. Long range damage shorter, again, for obvious reasons. Toxic, receive 10% more damage. This is just because if we end up applying toxic, we're going to be 10% here, 15% here, perfect. Another 8% damage, 12% damage to snipers. Armor piercing for 10%. We don't need this because we're not doing assault weapon. Again, not assault weapon. This is anomaly powered. We don't need to worry about that either. 20% extra damage. 30% extra long range damage. Magazine size by 50%, which is great. First bullet after reload deals 200 damage. 200% damage. This is amazing. This right here is where our bread and butter comes in. This is how you hit 9 million damage shots. Right here. This is it. You get lucky on it, and it's great. If you ever reload and miss that first bullet, it will hurt. It will hurt a lot. And the only real downfall is it only happens once every 5 seconds. I hate that part of it, that it only happens once every 5 seconds, because if it happened on every reload, this build would be actually good. 15% extra damage, we're taking that as well because it's just worth it. And here, activating decay increases weapon damage for you and your allies by 40% for 10 seconds. Obvious, pretty good. We're going to spam blighted turret. It's going to be good. As I mentioned, we're taking blighted turret, shrapnel, cold snap. The reason we're taking cold snap is we're going to be running a freeze type build on this. The big reason that we're going for freeze and not toxic is it's hard to hit a moving target in the head, and you only have one shot to do it. You would focus on mainly applying freeze and then bop. So that's how we're going to really run this. Going through the inventory, we're going with the strongest rifle one-shot I could find. Damage link, not needed. Killing spree, absolutely needed. You're going to want some long-range damage on that bad boy. If you can get crit percent damage, also put that on there. I have armor pierce. It'd be better with crit damage. Not too much of a gap there. And instead of status power, you could probably get life leech if you can. That's a good spot, but I think life leech takes the top spot over crit damage. So you can only have one or the other. So crit damage, long range damage, those are your two number ones. Here we're going to be running the Borealis set. And mainly because we don't need close range damage. If people get too close to us, we should cold snap and run away. And the other part is it gives us 10% to freeze damage, which is excellent. And if a teammate ever joins us and applies toxic for us and vulnerable status for us, then we can just give them, that 90% crit damage boost by just being a good teammate. So that's always good as well. Hidden and dangerous, increase your fire by 49k. This is actually good when you are doing the rifle one-shot variant because you are only shooting once. You are not blasting, you're not walking around, you are grabbing cover as much as you can. So it's actually pretty good. And I started running out of firepower options that I could choose, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. Here, we're taking Cold Snap. It's our only AoE. There's a possibility that this build gets better without Icicle Storm, but, I kind of want to run the Borealis set anyways, so, leave it on there. It's fine. Bloodlust, very good. Freezing Boost and Shatter. Just this one piece of gear alone is giving us 50% frozen enemy damage. It is amazing. When we freeze an enemy and it's got Toxic applied and we have that first shot in the clip, somebody's about to take some damage. Here, Captain Hunter and Sharp Eye, pretty obvious, 25% damage against elites, and this is Sharp Eye is giving us a lot of firepower for 20 seconds, stacking it up 3 times. Wish this had long range damage on it, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. And here is the only piece that we really don't need, Toxic Lead, 40% replenish on magazine. not too useful. We're going to be reloading a lot, but the big part here is Kingslayer, bonus firepower, and long range damage. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I'm going to show you guys some of the good shots that we got. Is this build possible to complete a actual expedition on tier 15? Absolutely. Are you going to do the most damage? Probably. And I'll show you a little screen cap right at the end. So let's get into the gameplay. So this is just going to be a culmination of all the clips that I kind of put together while going through Chem Plant on rifle one-shot build. And this isn't to say that this build is great, but it just shows the potential of being able to hit extremely hard with one bullet. I think the hardest I hit was 8.9 million, and I couldn't find the clip of where I hit it, but I did find a lot of other ones that were around 8 million, so I decided, hey, I guess I'll be showing you guys those. And the most interesting part is I don't think I hit the cap. I don't think I hit the cap of this build, and I would love to see what you guys hit. Here, you can see I hit an 8 million, pretty soft on this jug, and the reason I say that is because, well, he doesn't have toxic on him, and I have a ton of toxic applied damage. So imagine he had toxic on him, and since he's an elite, I do extra damage. The potential for me to hit him hard, whew, that was a 5 million damage right there. Using bladed rounds, I was messing around a little bit with it. 5 million damage on that captain, and it wasn't the first shot of the reload. So there is definitely more room for growth in this build. There's space for this build to get stronger and to hit harder. So if you guys end up trying out this build and you hit a higher number, let me know how it works for you, and I'll maybe try another time to see if I can get even higher than what you hit and make it a little bit of a game. But I had somebody join my game here, which was excellent, because holy, this build made dish damage, but boy does it die a lot. It has a hard time staying alive. It might casually put down, you know, some 8 million damage shots or 7 million damage shots without much of a think, but there are times where it really struggles. And unfortunately, we couldn't gold it. I think we were on good pace, but we got the bug where a breacher got stuck in the wall. And so we spent about 2 minutes trying to get this guy figured out. And it was just a pain in the ass to get that going. But moving forward, you can see here that it's really, sometimes you just think, I need to hit this shot, and you just miss them. But then you start feeling yourself, you start hitting a hot streak, and suddenly everybody's getting popped. 5 million for you, 1 million for you, and it feels good. You're hitting all the good shots. And this build is not a meta build. It's just super fun. It is honestly so fun. Like right there, barely trying, I hit the captain for 6 mil. Like, what? I didn't even throw it on the blighted turrets pop. I didn't do anything. And I know I tried with bladed rounds for a little bit. That was just to mess around, see if I could keep bladed rounds on forever. But you can't. It's very difficult. So it is best to do scrapnel and just move on from there. But what's going to be interesting here is I'm showing a lot of clips with, obviously, the humans. It's easier to hit their crit spots. But that doesn't mean that you can't bop a couple perforas at the same time. You're about to see me just unload. And I'm not even killing frenzied up here. And I hit an 8 million on him. And right away, he just dies. So, like, it's still a good build. It's just obviously it's harder to get that one-shot crit kill with perfora on it. But they have really low armor, so you're going to hit harder anyways. So there's somewhere in between there. There's a spot that you could hit a ton of damage. And as you're about to see, we did complete this. It was a little slow, but not a big deal. We had a lot of issues, and you know, it's going to be more difficult. But showing here, I had higher damage. And I spent, as you can see, 3 minutes dead. How did I do so much damage and I was dead for 3 minutes? It's insane. This build definitely has more room to grow. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do this. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to keep doing builds like this. So if you did like it, please give this video a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.